Hey, how are you guys doing tonight? So, today, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys mothership type stuff. So, I showed you in a previous video some repairing. I'm going to actually do some more repairing. Of course, this is the command control area. These are, of course, the gunner seats and stuff like that. You've got your science and engineering terminals here. And of course, I think this is the medical bay right here, but no, this is storage. Never mind. So right now we're on the very edge of one of the creature areas, the Skyflail Nesting Grounds, located near. By the way, these are all gunner seats too. Near Arcadia. So before we hop in here, I'm going to go over what captain skills consist of. Intelligence, you get avoidance if you have it unlocked, which means that you're a level, I believe, 25 at least, or 30 in. Well, let's look real quick. Let me make sure. Level 25 in a defensive skill. You get courage, perception, computer use, deep space knowledge, spacecraft piloting, and spacecraft systems. And so those are all good skills. A lot of people don't have them. Um, we did, of course, before heading out and undocking, announce to the crew that we were moving out in order to do a skilling run. Often, to be able to get permission to have access to controlling a mothership, you have to have obtained at least level 30 in a vehicle structural engine. Well, right down here. Boom. Vehicle structural engineering, which basically you get through putting in time on a ship crew and stuff like that, right? So, repair crewing on a ship, you can contact any of the motherships. They're all great people. They're all pretty easy to contact and get on as a crew, as a repair crewman. All you need is some welding wire and a vehicle repair unit, right? And that'll get you started. So tonight we're going to be focusing more or less on the mothershipping part of the captain skilling part. And so I don't have a crew because I logged on late and didn't actually organize this well. But I am going to wreck the crap out of this mothership. So fully armed and ready for battle, of course, we would have access to the forward gun weapon system, and the crew would have access to all of these turrets located around the mothership and on the bottom of the mothership down there, right? So a fully crewed mothership bristles with firepower when properly set up and crewed. Right here is the back little hangar area where you would fly in if like they were already out skilling and stuff. These guys do massive damage. You're going to see that they're going to be knocking me for about 100. But see how I'm getting spacecraft systems right there? And there is nobody repairing, right? So we are just going to be wrecking this ship. And then I'll show you some stuff with the repair things after, So we had to swarm close enough to him to get him to start shooting us, right? So the damage that I'm doing to this ship right now is going to represent hours in combined skilling for repair crews, in which on the weekend there are always people logging on to repair. Because skilling through repairs is an absolute great way to kick on a bunch of your engineering stuff. And a great way to learn the game by meeting other people on the ships. And that goes across the board for, what is it? The Bismarck, the Variac, the Cronin, hold on 1 second. I don't want to be forgetting people. The Gagarin. I don't know what these guys are doing. They're out in the middle of nowhere. Any of the little ships. Basically repair crewing. Great way to learn the game. But as you can tell, we're slowly gaining more and more of the space pilot type skills. I want to make sure that's... And we'll be gaining a small amount of avoidance, intelligence, perception, and courage. Computer use and stuff like that, right? So obviously these ships have a lot of life, right? So if you're thinking you're gonna just run up and shoot up a mothership, yeah, that's probably not realistic, guys. I mean, like, I'm just telling you as a fact thing. Especially if anybody on their crew decides to man a gun all of a sudden. And God forbid everything's manned. Oh, you are in trouble. Although, if you are ever bored and you're like, hey, I wonder how fast they would blast me out of the sky. There are ones. When I was a new player, I'm going to be honest, I did see one of the motherships somewhere and decided I was going to just take a strafing run on it. And I didn't have any brilliant plan or anything, guys, so let's like not pretend there was a plan. But out of curiosity, I did. They did blow me right out of the sky. I mean, that was fast too. And if you guys know, I've always talked on how important perception is, right? There's not been any confusion on I believe perception is important. You'll also notice that this thing isn't like some kind of fighter jet. You can see I'm maneuvering very slow turns, very kind of sticky, right? Okay. And here's the fascinating part. I'm trying to kind of keep track of how many dots we have on us. Because we're going to want to drag these mobs back to be turreted, basically. And I'll show you how that works. So I'm not going to leave a bunch of dry mobs in space, hopefully, and I believe I wouldn't. This is probably the amount that we can take back with us. I'm going to create a waypoint right here. I'm going to grab one more, guys. And I could be wrong on my belief in how many we can handle. If I am, it won't be a big deal. We'll blow up somewhere between here. Okay. So the goal here, and I'm going to let you guys know I haven't Mothership captain for so long that I am not some perfect timer on this yet. You know what I'm saying? The goal here, though, is to carry this huge pack of mobs back with us that full distance there, in which we'll have a whole bunch of damage on the ship, while at the same time the space station's going to turret them down so that we'll have took all the clean mobs. So they're going to run out of skill in a second, and you guys will see what I'm talking about when I'm always trying to explain mobs run out of skill. We were receiving skill, right? And now we're not going to be. In a second, we might already ran out of skill. Now, if we had a repair crew, I would guarantee that we were going to make it all the way back. I'm going to have to watch this. We'll know if we can get to 1.5 and still be at halfway. We're good, right? But who knows? Worst case scenario, guys, I'm going to let you know that you blow up and you reappear at the nearest location, just like anywhere else in space, pretty much. Kind of watching this. Let's hope. Let's hope, right? Not sure where we're gonna find ourselves on this, guys. I don't like leaving dry mobs, and so I'll try to get better at this for sure. So, honestly, a long time ago, dry mobs being ditched off in skilling areas was the very beginning of some tensions. And so in an effort to never have anything to do in regards of creating space tensions, would definitely like to not do that, you know what I mean? And if we had a gunner and a full crew, a tail gunner would just clear our rear, we would repair up and go back in. Does that make sense? I hope so, you guys. But this is a fun aspect. But you can clearly tell we stopped getting skills a little bit ago, right? Oh yeah, we're gonna make it back. Maybe, but I think so. So, I honestly no longer remember the turret range on the space station. At one point, I knew exactly where you stop to soak the rest of the damage before continuing forward to turret the things. I have no idea where that is anymore. So I'll have to wait till another pilot's on to ask them where that is, or we'll watch. We'll watch this time. We'll see where they turret. But if you look, you can see off in the distance the space station right there. You see what I mean? I'm gonna move this out of the way for 1 second. Trying to. Insane amount of stuff going on there. I don't know what I did to do that, but I've somehow offset ourselves. I don't like that at all. I somehow find out how to offset some crap that I don't think I should be able to do, but we just need to refocus ourselves. Okay, so we're 1.6 and closing. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of curious what we did do. Oh good, that fixes it. I hit shift, by the way. If you guys are ever in that situation where you're mothershipping and you accidentally mess with some stuff, that's how you fix it. little bit too far up on the pull up. By the way, if you guys are ever just wanting to come up and skill, contact the mothership captain that owns the mothership. I don't own a mothership, guys. Contact an owner. Let him know, hey, I want to come up and skill. How do I get on the crew? They'll let you know where to get your gear and stuff, right, usually. And then, like, when they're on your planet or above your planet, let them know, and they'll usually beam you up or other things. Or you can catch a hitchhiker type ride up with somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I think we timed this pretty good, actually. I got lucky. Because I don't have the timing down anymore. Especially crewless, you know, just running it out and beating it down a little bit. And so, thank gosh for that, right? Okay, so we're coming in on the station. I'm not sure where they're going to get turreted. I believe it was at 0.5 AUs. But oh, we're a little jacked up, guys. But now you guys see what I mean when I'm always saying that a mob goes dry on skill? On like what they're going to give out defensive skill wise on you and stuff? That's what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to show you guys about mothership repairing. I mean, we won't instantly repair the whole ship, but you know, like, we'll throw down some repairs. I'll show you some stuff on that. I'm going to pull up the... little bit of anger coming at us, right, guys? Okay. So my belief is that the defense system kicks on at 0.5 AUs out. By the way, the Variac, which is owned by Yoshi, and the Cronin, which is owned by Granny, are both skilling motherships. If you contact either one of them, you're probably going to be able to get on a crew to go skill. There's also the Bismarck and I always forget its name, but it's always flying around doing actual mothershipy like people flights and stuff. So I don't know it as well. And so there are skilling motherships. There's actually a bunch more, but I don't know them personally. So there's not really, I don't know how to shout them out. That's basically it. You could also likely, but I don't know if they run out on skilling missions, contact the Grungren. They mostly, I believe, do VIP warps and stuff like that, though. Okay, ready? Okay, so it's not at 0.5. Well, good thing to know, right? What do you think it has, guys? 0.25? So we can stop right here and soak damage, but there's no skill in them right now, and we don't have a repair crew getting any skills counteracting it, so it's not really worth it to stop. Let's see if these guys get blasted away at 30 or at 25. So not at 30. Oh, that's us, guys. That's not them getting blasted on. Not at 25. Good thing I didn't grab any more. Boom, we're in space station zone. Here's other ships as we come into range. They're dead at, what was that, 20? You guys think that was 20? I think it was. Let's call it 28. Point 0.2 AUs. So because we're docking, I'm going to come in and bring this to dock range right here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And then I'll announce that the ship is in orbit so that repair crews can come up. What's this ship? Let's see. Hold on, I'm going to pull in right here. We're able to teleport across to the space station from this distance right here. This is considered dock distance as soon as we came into that range. And I'll show you what I mean. But we're going to see which ship this is real quick. Sorry, guys. Because they have somebody... Oh, you know what? No, because we have access to a turret too. Everybody's going to be marked as red at this point. Did they just jump? Guys, I don't know. Just trying to find out what mothership. That's the Cronin. Okay, so see, there, Granny Rowan. There's the Cronin. They just obviously came back from a repair run too, right? So, oh, and they just jumped or something because they just vanished. So I'll jump out of the seat real quick. I'm going to show you how everything works. Boom. Here's the pilot seat. Here's the top front gunner seat. We obviously had access to a gun too. There's a co-pilot seat. Honestly, I've never really understood the point of the co-pilot on this. But maybe in a real big situation. Here's guns alternating, of course, top, bottoms, lefts, blah, blah. Here are more weapon systems around this array and more to this side. So this is the command center repair point. That's an elevator, of course. This is the reactor repair point. We're going to just jump down to avoid having to walk because that's a lot of walking. As we go down this staircase, right, we're going to come in here. I don't know why it always loads like that, but it does. You come to this lower section, right, and here you're in the propulsion section of a ship. And this is how motherships work. We're also going to go to the hangar. I'm going to show you that and some other little details. I'm also going to let people know. Okay. So we let people know that the ship is back at the station. So there's this one that we came in. Oh, nope, sorry. I got discombobulated, guys. And this televator we're going to use to get to the hangar zone. Now, there's also an engineering section that allows you to switch out specific modules, a few different bays, like a revival point, stuff like that, medical bay, and even an upper gallery that has a window that lets you just hang out and look out the window while we travel through space, or a group travels through space. This is obviously the hangar. You've got your different terminals. Over here, because we're in what they consider docking orbit, if you look here, we could literally just beam over to the space station instead of having to fly over there. So I'm going to break down the repair part now. I'm going to show you starting with an RK0, and I'll go like this, at RR, boom. That lets people know that I'm at the, I'm at HH. I apologize, guys. At HH, which is at the hangar. The reactor is RR. I just got confused there and told you guys the wrong thing while telling them the wrong thing. Now, the skills we got from piloting, of course, and we'll go back over that, right? While we were taking damage, was 5% intelligence, avoidance at 10%, courage at 5%, 10% perception, 10% computer skills, 10% deep space knowledge when you have that unlocked. 30% of it was the spacecraft piloting, which, by the way, does give every 533.3 points gives HP and stuff like that. And then, of course, spacecraft systems. Now, while we're doing this repair stuff, right, we're getting 5% intelligence, 9% blueprint comprehension. We're getting 37% vehicle repairing, 12% vehicle technology. If we had intuition unlocked, we'd be getting 7% intuition. That's not unlocked for me right now. If you have a serendipity unlocked, you get 4% serendipity. You get 6% electronics, 10% engineering, 6% of it's mechanics, and if you have it unlocked, 4% of course is scientist. And so overall, it's a huge benefit, right? So you see how slow this is rolling in, right? By the way, thank you very much, Trees. That's very help. Well, thank you very much. I always get thrown off. I never know what to say to people. So now later on, if you're qualified, you can use this machine. This machine's going to be rolling in much higher skills, but it's going to be burning up a whole lot more welding wire. But watch how fast this starts repairing it. So you can barely see any kind of movement at all on this, right? And this is why a lot of times, if you're going to be going to a special event, or doing some combat, or you're just wanting the power skill, and you're qualified, you're going to want to have the RK25. Especially, honestly, if there's some kind of combat going on in space. So even with what we're repairing, right? And let's really realistically look at this. You saw that those creatures were throwing in some massive damage. And so if we detach attachments off of this, and I'm not saying that somebody's going to roll in and swarm a mothership, but it's happened before in history. And motherships load out massive damage. Each hit from a Kismet laser is dropping in 81 to 163 damage, right? And so if you think about that, right, I'm only repairing 69, 80 something damage. You have to have two repairers rolling with 25s on each location to keep somebody from popping a location. And if they're going to be rolling with these RK0s, you would have to have a grip of dudes on each location to overrun it. Because here's reality. Motherships have tons of life, and they have kind of advantage with the big guns and stuff like that if they're fully manned. But quad wing interceptors have advantage on maneuverability, and yes, you can blast them out of the sky, but if you're being swarmed by them, um, technically in a space combat fight, you concentrate all firepower on a single zone because mobs do generic damage across all systems. If two dudes just sat there blasting away on the hangar, they can concentrate firepower on the hangar and stuff. And I haven't attacked a bunch of. I don't go around attacking things. But my understanding is that with concentrated firepower on a mothership that's undefended, that they're not that impossible to take down. And so there have been engagements, and I think in good terms and in bad terms, between motherships, in which an exchange of mothership fire, if you looked at how many guns there were there, is going to overwhelm the repairs. There's no way. And I think, honestly, we'd have to go into space chat, see what kind of talk there is. But the Bismarck alone has some odd, I believe, 100k in zone hit points. I mean, I know it's above 100k. Um, and so every ship varies greatly on hit points. I'll show you guys that too, because I'm not going to repair the whole ship on the stream. So ships have a refueling station, and then on top of that there's a different station somewhere on the ship, and I would have to find it. Or maybe it's not even a different station, but there's a station on ships where you can basically deposit materials to upgrade the amount of hit points that a ship has. And honestly, right this second, I can't remember the exact location of the thing. Let's walk over. I don't believe I have full ship authorization to be messing with things. So let's be honest, there's a limited amount of what I can do on this ship compared to if I were a ship owner. So I can't touch that. So it could be that it is as easy as messing with the refueling station. But gold and stuff like that can be used for motherships to increase the amount of overall structural integrity that they have. And so I'm going to go back up to the command and control center. I'll show you some other stuff, but without violating the privacy of this ship, because I don't want to do that at the same time. But I would like to explain that there's other things, like an armament system limits the amount of weapons that can be actually boarded at once. And so no matter how many guns are on a mothership, no more than the amount of people can be in guns than the armament system dictates. And so here's that like lounge area that I was telling you guys about, which if we're traveling through space, you can stand here. Obviously it's above the cockpit and below one of those giant turrets. And so it might be cool looking as crap during a big fight. I have no idea. I've never been up in here when something was going on. And so, right? Who knows? By the way, right now in space, my understanding is everybody is currently getting along, so it's a great time to be in space and be skilling, right? So you've got all these gunner seats. But at the end of the day, and this is why I'm not going to violate this stuff, all of the stuff is dictated by energy devices and warp stuff and armament devices that can go into these different slots. And there's different types of stuff, and I'm not going to get into all the different mothership type engineering subcomponents that can go into engineering. But they have warp drives and all the, like they have their own things like armament devices and stuff like that, and warp drives in which you can't initiate a warp in a mothership if you don't have a current. I believe subwarp and warp drive, to be honest. I'm not going to initiate because they burn out on a ship. But to initiate a warp, in which we're not going to be, I believe we should be repaired. I don't remember how to initiate a warp anymore, you guys. Can you believe this crap? Oh, right there. To initiate a warp, you drop down with the left click button. Sorry about that. Haven't done any of this for a while. And then you click that, but you have to be in warpable space, and there has to be a device in the ship. If you're on a pilot list and you have not received direct orders or have permission to be doing a warp, you shouldn't do it. And even if you have permission and orders to commence a warp, you always go into the chat and you let people know stuff like this kind of stuff where like you're, hey, we're moving to this, hey, blah blah blah, because some people are getting on and they're getting on for the purposes to come up in skill and progress forward their character, and you going and just doing stuff without like communicating properly as a crew isn't going to help anybody, in all honesty. And so I know that this was kind of a weird late night stream thing. I just had access to the ship tonight. I thought, hey, this would be a good time to cover it. It's a great way to get a bunch of skills, you guys, and meet a bunch of people and explore the universe. By the way, Evil Trees, I hope you have a great night. I'm going to be signing off. I hope you all have a great, great weekend. And on Monday, we'll be kicking butt with some more stuff. Peace, very best wishes, and enjoy your evening.